Welcome to Chapter 1 on Essential Elements of Blended Learning. By the end of this chapter, you will be able to cite the benefits and essential elements of blended learning. The elements or building blocks are an instructor and a computer, and synchronous versus asynchronous instruction. Let's define what blended learning means. Blended learning can sometimes be referred to as hybrid learning. For this course, blended learning is defined as meeting roughly 50% online asynchronously and 50% in person. Blended learning provides the best of in-person and online learning. Some benefits include easier access to learning activities for online, more time on task for online, individualized learning opportunities for online, increased guidance from instructor in-person, increased social interaction in-person and online, improved instructional design in-person and online. An important distinction of blended learning is understanding the difference between synchronous and asynchronous learning and the strengths and weaknesses of each. It is easy to define whether a class is being conducted online or in person. But another consideration is, are students working in real time synchronously with the instructor or working alone at their own pace? In many ways, the virtual classroom is more similar to an in-class meeting than it is to an asynchronous course where a student works alone at their own pace with periodic feedback from the instructor and possibly other students. Let's look at some of the tools that support synchronous and asynchronous experiences. Tools for synchronous learning could include web conference tools, chat, screen sharing, and document sharing. Tools for asynchronous learning could include discussion forums, blogs, email, assignment tools, and quizzes. Remember to keep the technology as simple as possible. Now let's consider some of the strengths and weaknesses of student interaction with the instructor versus their interaction with a computer. On the strength side, an instructor can convey passion for a subject, provide emotional support, and detect students' emotions, such as frustration or excitement, and adjust their teaching accordingly. Instructors can also interpret complex problems that students are having or unique questions they have. On the weakness side, instructors are not always patient and will not repeat a lecture the way a computer will do. They are also not always consistent in their message. They are also not available 24 hours per day the way a computer is. Computers, while weaker at conveying emotions and interpreting complex input from a student, will patiently replay any video, let the student retake a test, reread a page, etc., and are available anytime. Here are a few more pedagogical differences between an in-person versus an online setting. In the online setting, more students can participate at a time, instead of just one or two students asking questions, as is common in the classroom. In an online web conferencing session with polling, all students can give their answers. The same is true with an online quiz with feedback. All students can also participate in online discussions. This can be a requirement. Breaking students into groups in the physical classroom or online setting can increase the amount of interaction there. When considering what topics or activities to assign to online versus in-person delivery, think of your assignments as students A, creating products, such as a paper, versus B, carrying out processes, such as conducting an interview. Products are suited for online submission, while processes benefit from in-person review. Another consideration is pacing. The physical classroom does not work well for a very diverse group of students in terms of their level of knowledge, since any one lecture and set of exercises will be directed at one skill level. In the online space, instructors can provide a pre-test to check on students' level of knowledge and remedial materials to bring students up to a similar level. The online session of a blended course allows instructors to provide personalized instruction, answering individual questions, giving feedback on assignments, and addressing specific concerns, which is hard to do in an in-person classroom. How do we take all these ideas and parse out what should be done when in a blended course structure? An example is the flipped classroom, where lectures are recorded and posted online to be viewed prior to the class meeting. Then, homework is done in the classroom setting with the help of the instructor and other students. The pre-class content can also be a textbook, articles, and outside videos, possibly followed by a short assignment or online quiz to test for understanding. Blended learning, or hybrid learning, skillfully combines the strengths of both in-person and online education and integrates synchronous and asynchronous learning methods, allowing for personalized experiences. Overall, Blended learning represents a crucial evolution in teaching methodologies, aiming to improve educational outcomes for a diverse student body.